Yes, I am going full mad, full crazy. My hair is moving on across here and there, and the Shishidam alongside me. What win?
Yes. And what a contrasting your head and this guy's.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, Shushmit and I, we have this little secret between each other. Hopefully, which we have a non-verbal agreement that we are not going to spill to the whole world. But I just noticed Shushmit was about to call me in the name, but he did not. So I'm grateful, Shushmit. What was the experience watching the Manchester United and the Arsenal game yesterday?
Uh, Epic, epic. I think I had a feeling something incredible might happen, and it did happen.
Well,
Wow.
when
I
you
think
look at
credit to this guy.
credit, definitely goes to this guy and this group of players also because they have, for example, this guy over here. He is literally playing like a monster. Casemiro and Kobe Mainu. I mean, for the first time, looking at the highlights, I didn't watch the match, didn't have the courage, but it felt like, wow, they are in control.
Yes, I mean, like I had watched City's game, but if you compare with City's game, I think City, they were like, it was a proper game. Arsenal game, I would say it was a bit rusty, was not proper, but it was still a game where United always find ways to attack or find ways to get a win. So I think that is something which I really felt watching the game. Although I
Look
watched
at,
from the second half, but what a half.
I mean, look at the stakes, right? Arsenal have only lost twice this season before this game, haven't lost a single game at home, and they haven't even conceded anything more than one goal at home. So it just goes to show, it just goes to show that I am sneezing, and bless me for that. But look
Yes,
at
bless
how
you.
now how wonderfully those tactical tweaks that Michael Carrick has added at an individual player level where players are able to play more freely and take responsibility. That was the highlight. What did you feel when you were watching in the second half?
Yes, I mean, I felt as if whenever United is attacking, it feels as if there is some sort of instruction given whenever they're attacking. And it feels somehow like Carrick has implemented what Ole was doing at United when they were attacking. And I think defensively also very compact. So it is more of like whatever the good things he learned from Ole, he's applying all of those things in here. We were talking about who would come as a manager. I was never disappointed when I saw Carrick's name come up because I knew that this would be the style of play which United currently needs right now. Yes, you might say, will this work in long term? That we cannot talk about right now. But is this sort of game needed at this moment? Yes. I think this is the sort of game which will give you points, which will bring that happy faces or happy moments back again. So that is where I think Carrick has done a great job. And credit goes to the players as well, like where he has got back Mbuemo, he's got Ahmad back, he's got Cunha back from a little bit of injury which he had. I think the overall team which Amorim was actually facing, as in a lot of players were injured or not available, he has got the full squad back. He has got Harry Maguire back, who has been the man of the match, of course, in the last game. Simiro's back. Obi Mainu, I think the confidence was missing, and he got it back. That goes to show why coach who motivates the player, who has the backing of the coach. If you have players will automatically perform well. So I think very little things, but yes, I feel the push was needed, and that is where Carrick has done a great job.
Contrast when you look at it, Shushmit, you mentioned that the importance of having all the players available. Now, a lot of people are telling that also that even though Michael Carrick right now has all the players available, this was the exact situation that even Ruben Amorim had in the first 2 months of his time. So somewhere when you look at the whole concept of now Carrick suddenly has all the players available and that's why he's doing well. But that's the caliber of a good manager, right? How do you able to See, even Liverpool did not have Mohamed Salah and all the important players. No, what's the Nottingham Forest lost four or five of their top 11 stars in AFCON. So all these different teams are coping up. And if you look at the post-match presentation of Michael Carrick, they mentioned it. He mentioned very clearly that we need to be humble. Now, I don't recall the last time when any of the United managers. I mean, we've always had humble managers after Sir Alex, right? You got Louis Van Gaal, you got Mourinho, you got Ralph Rangnick, now Ruben Amorim, Eric Ten Hag. Very, very humble managers, right? So, what was your thoughts when you watched or heard and read through the post-match comments made by Carrick?
Well, I could, first of all, I didn't watch. That's a very important thing. I didn't watch the post-match highlights because I was watching the highlights of the game. Understood. So, yes, I think if he has mentioned that, and rightly, I feel he's that sort of a person who would mention, because he's that sort of a character. He knows how to stay grounded. He has always been like that as a player, and I feel this is something that the reason I keep saying that you have to bring in players who understand the culture at United, because uh, I feel you have brought in the big names, right? Nobody has really worked out. You talk about Van Gaal, he's one of the biggest managers at that time when he came in. You talk about Mourinho, there cannot be any better manager than Mourinho back in the day when United got him. And somehow things didn't work out. Now they're talking about Tuchel, or a lot of names are coming in. But I feel if you have someone who is actually taking the team forward, but what I need to see is what problem Ole faced. Ole, what problem he faced was he was not able to break down the teams who were having a low block. So if Carrick is able to do that, then I would say just hand him the contract, because that is the most important game. Premier Leagues is all about getting the wins against the big club as well as the small clubs who knows how to defend well, really well. And I think that's the big test. I really want to see how United plays against Fulham or the games coming after, because that will also determine how Carrick's overall management would be. Because those games, overall game management style would be completely different. Stopping those counters, stop then attacking with proper, proper formation or proper manner in which they can score those goals. Now, obviously, they have great players. If you talk about Ole, what he had, and now what United has, attacking wise, I think Mbuemo, Ahmad, amazing. I think the way they are playing. Cunha, we saw, I think that was a screamer, and nobody expected that
Patrick
to go
Dorgu
in.
was signed up as a left back mainly, but right now he's playing in the left wing, which is unbelievable. And performance overall, even if you look at his first touches and all, a lot of confidence has improved. Crazy point, Sushmit, because when you really look at Manchester United as a side, they even when Ole was there, you're so right. They were winning against Chelsea. They were winning against PSG. They won those big games, the Manchester derbies against Liverpool and all. But when you look at the mid-level teams, where they were very compact and tight in the defense, United had difficulties to break those teams as well. So definitely, a United man is what is the need of the hour, and someone who understands the club in and out and the culture. And that way, even if it takes time, I think over a period of time, it's going to grow. Something that Arsenal did beautifully with Mikel Arteta, giving him that time. Even though we know that Arsenal are perennial bottlers, they are going to bottle the title yet again. But again, the fact that they're still in top four, and that's all you need. Arsene Wenger kept the job for more than 18 years just by maintaining top four and not winning anything. So that's what Arsenal needs. But United also, if they use that blueprint, then that's it just goes to show that they're in the right place. So now that this game is done, win against Manchester United, Manchester City, win against Arsenal, the top two of the Premier League, the greatest league in the world, and they've Manchester United is defeated. Now, obviously, as fans, we are flying. Are you flying? What are your thoughts?
I would say yes, because nobody expected these two games United would come out as win had Ruben Amorim been there. I had completely stopped watching United, and I told this a number of times as well, because I completely lost all hopes. I never really thought this team could ever play anything good. And I don't care what people are talking about him being not backed or anything, but I care about the results. So any manager, any person who comes in who can bring in those results is what matters to the fans, honestly. So I think that was something which was missing. and Carrick has brought it back really well. But having said that, I really want to see how this team goes going forward. Because if Carrick can do something great with the teams having a low block, then I feel United, with the recruitment now Ineos are doing, like if you see, they have been very clear that manager will not have a proper say. So if they are bringing a proper player based on their structure, and then you are giving it to the manager and telling them that yes, this is a player which we feel is right, and then this is your responsibility to make it better or to fit him or integrate him into the team, then I feel Carrick is the right man. Because if you give the upper hand to Carrick, he might not bring the best players. But if you give the upper hand to, let's just say, Christopher Weevil or whoever is handling those transfers. Because if you look at it from the time they've started recruiting, we were thinking Dorgu is a shitty player, but he's not. He's showed it in the last two games that he's actually good. If you look at Cunha, what a signing. You look at Mbuemo, I think probably one of the best signings ever made by United. And obviously, if you talk about the other players as well who have come in, they've gotten, I think,
Benjamin Sesko, Sushmit.
yes, Sesko. Now people talk about Sesko not scoring goals, but I feel he's young. He's coming around. I've noticed his runs are much better than Højlund, much better. And where is Højlund? After scoring so many goals, he's now gone. So you have understood that that consistency is, and United has a lot of players who can score. That is the most important thing. We don't need a Sesko to score 20 goals. If we can get 20 goals or 30 goals out of 4 5 players, what is the need? And that has always been the United way. United has never been like a team having a Kane type of striker would always keep coming up and scoring goals after goals after goals. They would always have Rudy, Barbatov, Van Persie, and all those players coming in. Javier Hernandez was there, so how can we forget?
Yeah, though
By the
that
way,
was
Chicharito was a very favorite player of
yeah, that was the golden era. I still remember Van Persie and Rooney leading the pack, and then Chicharito and Danny Welbeck were the backup players. And also goes to show the quality that United had the in the academy as well. And they promoted those players because they knew that they'll have the fire to perform well. Now, over the last couple of years, I don't see that unfolding. And the players who did that well, they were given such lucrative contracts and they did not play well. So there's a lot of things that's going to go around. A lot of things for Carrick also to work it out. I think today's
that
episode.
is the reason, why it is important to have a player like someone like Carrick or somebody who understands the club, because you have so good players coming from the academy. So if you're not utilizing the academy, the big names will always need players from the outside. Then what happens to the academy players who are actually developing well?
And the United
So
history has always been about the academy, right? Whether it's the 58 Munich crash or even the Busby Babes, followed by the class of 1992. Manchester United is one club that has always produced world class gems from the academy. And I think with Carrick coming in, we are feeling hopeful. Even I think there was a report that came out where the parents of the academies are happy because Carrick used to come with their children and he would behave as a dad. So he's a very normal fellow. And I feel that's what we need at United. So it's good times. And I think this was a surprise episode that we recorded. We were not supposed to record it, but Shushmit just called me up and we were like, let's record. So here we are. So enjoy, do share your thoughts below. And we can see that a lot of you are not subscribing. We are getting the views, but we need more subscriptions and we need all your love and support. So we are maintaining the consistency so that we can create these world-class videos for you. So make sure that you subscribe. Big thank you, Shushmit, for such an insightful conversation. I think we wanted to do a little bit of comedy, but a lot of interesting stuff is what came out from this video. So big thank you.
thank you, everyone.